Good evening. Welcome to the Face of Friday Night. Peter Kivazo with me, Charles Romshana and Mary Mutesi. We should have had Morrison Rwakakamba as well joining us. I haven't got his apologies yet. Yes. Good evening, Mary.
Good evening, Peter.
And habari gani, Charles?
God is great. God is great. We are.
I have feedback from one of my friends who says, Peter, can those people have something positive every time they come to that show? I am tired of being depressed. So he was asking me, I think it's 2 days ago, so what depressing thing are you going to discuss this Friday? I said, I don't even know what depresses you. And he said, please tell your panelists, let them do us a favor and have something positive every time they come to the show, at least one positive thing. And Ben, the message has been delivered straight to the panelists, and the others that are not on the show that are viewing, I'm sure they've picked it up. So Charles, stop depressing people.
It's like you saying that can you find immunity on someone who is HIV positive? I mean, the thing depletes immunity.
You're saying that there is nothing that can be positive in this country?
The topics you bring. First, we discuss what you bring.
Maybe now, can't there be anything instance, positive in this country?
There are no floods today.
At least I think Ben's plea went to Charles. Actually, also Charles depresses me. And in the last show, you were about to join him in being a depressant.
Yeah, you know the advantage.
I'm the only positive person here.
Is that they can make up. You paint lips, you paint you can make up. I don't know how to make up.
but also I had one good fan for this show who just sympathized with me and said, lady, how much do you trust those guys after the show? And I said, well, I usually have some people guarding me out there.
Well, you can also
but also he sympathized with you. And he was like, I mean, at that time of the night, how do you sit with such a lady and you remain sober?
Wait. And I'm very sober.
How did you go home last time?
I don't know which homes you went to. And viewers, today, several things that are happening around the world. One of those is either positive or negative news if you live in this region. The president of Kenya, it's positive news for those of us that think KANU was one of the strongest parties in East Africa. The president of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, has been absolved by the ICC, whichever way you look at it. They've said, go and eat your kuku. Go home and be happy. They have washed their hands clean unless they open another fire. In addition to that, the cycle of delegates conference, the non-elective delegates conference. Today the FDC with its own in Nambole, it adopted what it was supposed to adopt, and for all intents and purposes, it seemed very civil. People shook hands, people smiled at each other, and I'm hoping and praying that those smiles went deeper than the faces that we saw. Chaz, I'll start with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Has the ICC been detoothed? Or it was always bound to be like that? Or the African presidents that threatened, huffed and puffed in Addis and said, Bwana, if you do not withdraw these charges, we are going to withdraw from the ICC arrangement. Is that what is taking root? It is happening when the court in Geneva recently only upheld charges against this fellow in the Congo, Lubanga. It upheld the charges and, not charges, the conviction and the sentence as well, as it were. They didn't alter the sentence. They said, yes, the sentence was appropriate. Will the courts charge the Lubangas of this world because they are stateless and leave the Uhurus? Can the African presidents threaten the court and it backs off? Or is this the reality, as it was always going to be?
Uhuru's indictment was, if I'm not mistaken, negotiated. You remember after the after that confusion.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name. Was it Susan Rice?
Kofi Annan.
Yes, and
actually,
Susan Rice.
The mediator was Kofi Annan.
Yes. But Susan Rice came down here, banged the tables. Was it Jandai Fraser or Susan Rice that came and threatened them and read them the Riot Act? And then Kofi Annan came and smoothened the things and did the gentleman's...
yeah, because it involved, it had several aspects. One was to have government of national unity, where you're going to involve the Raila Odingas, whose elections had been, whose vote had been stolen.
Or alleged to have
been stolen. And the second one was, what do you do with impunity? Because people were killed. People were killed, people were displaced, people went, crossed over to Uganda. It was mayhem. Someone had to pay for it. But the one whom they zeroed on, and they are not saying that there is no evidence. If you have followed through, they say the state of Kenya has not cooperated. And Uhuru Kenyatta has successfully abused state power. So yes, they withdrew the charges. But yes, with Uhuru they would, because he is part of the African elite who are facilitators of the exploitation of Africa by the white man. Because you see, the complaint by President Museveni and the likes are that the ICC is a tool of imperialism, of neo-imperialism. And actually this now brings it out clearly, that if you are with them, or if you surrender to them, they will play around. They will play around with it. With Bashir, even if the level of evidence was what was obtaining with Uhuru, they would still have gotten a conviction.
But he hasn't presented himself. We can't speculate.
No, I mean, but that's it. You see, you don't even need to have that. If that it's the Uhurus of this world that would even be allowed to have bail. The others, the Taylors, the Rubanga, this man in Congo, the Terminator, wouldn't have bail. Ntaganda wouldn't have bail.
By the way, where is he?
He is there. He is there. They wouldn't have bail. You even see the way they took them. USA was involved. USA, which is not a signatory to the ICC, Castro was involved in transferring Ntaganda to the ICC, and that's what worries some of these heads of states who think they are beginning to have issues with the USA and some of those powers. So it's being hijacked as a court of the victors against the vanquished. But with Uhuru falls in a different paradigm, because he's their son. If you see how those economies are, they look African because they are in Africa, but eventually, in essence, it's theirs. The best soil is theirs. It's what was with Mugabe before he thought about